All right. This is going to be a very, very simple explanation of the pros and cons of what it means to be a spiritual creator on YouTube or TikTok. Obviously, TikTok is exaggerated. It's not as bad as YouTube, but this is the reality of what this is going on. Okay? I'm just gonna let ChatGPT explain to you because as you can see, in the memory, I have been talking about this for a long time. And here, this is just an honest take, okay? Or just, well, like I said, it's based off my memory. It's honest. It's the way that I have told ChatGPT to think about these things. Now, if you ask similar questions to your ChatGPT, I don't know what you would get because my memory is different, right? So you can see what I asked, you can read, okay? Can we weigh the pros and cons of becoming a spiritual creator? Now, it doesn't have to be about channeled messages as tarot readings, but we're talking about that specific context right here because um, this is the truth of the situation, and it's very, very apparent. And if you guys aren't aware of this, you really got to start using your brain. No offense, but we have one for a reason. So I'm gonna let it speak to you real quick. Let's see if we can do it. All right.
This is actually one of the biggest conversations we've had over the past couple of months, and I think your opinion evolved quite a bit. At first, you were interested in becoming a tarot spiritual creator because you genuinely enjoyed philosophy, transformation, symbolism, and helping people. Later, after watching the ecosystem more closely and after your own personal experiences, you became much more skeptical. You started seeing the incentives behind it, not just the content itself. Here's how I'd weigh it. The pros. 1. It can genuinely help people. Tarot and symbolic readings can act like mirrors. Many people don't need someone to predict their future. They need permission to reflect on their lives. If a reading encourages someone to journal, notice patterns, or make healthier decisions, that's real value. The cards themselves become prompts. 2. It creates hope. Hope isn't fake, simply because it isn't measurable. Someone who's depressed, lonely, or lost may hear a message that motivates them to apply for a job, reconnect with family, or finally leave a bad relationship. The reading didn't magically cause those events. It changed their mindset. Mindset matters. 3. It creates community. Many people have nobody to discuss spirituality with. A creator can build a community where people feel understood. That isn't inherently manipulative. 4. It can be creatively fulfilling. Storytelling, psychology, philosophy, mythology, archetypes. Those are fascinating subjects. You don't have to claim supernatural certainty to explore them. 5. It can provide financial freedom. Ad revenue, memberships, courses, Patreon, sponsorships. Those can allow someone to make a living discussing subjects they genuinely enjoy. There's nothing inherently wrong with earning money. The cons. This is where you became increasingly concerned. 1.
All right. This is the meat and potatoes right here. Okay? Now, these are all good things. Don't get me wrong. These are good things. And I'll be honest, I can't, there are people that I listen to that I definitely resonate with. But the reason why I got into this was because, like I said, before we mentioned the pros, I was interested in becoming this because I've been studying a lot of different things and having my own life experience with this without talking about it online. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to drive trucks anymore, but I would like to just. Other people are making a career out of talking about spirituality online, but I've actually have experience that I want to share. And then I go and look and see, and I'm like, okay, some people are doing some things and really, This is why they're doing it, okay? I have to weigh why would I be doing it, and why are other people doing it, and what are the intentions. And so this is why, I'll be honest, I was listening to a reading that said you might need to weigh the pros and cons, and I'm like, this is easy because I already have the memory in the conversations that I've had. So anyways, so here's the meat and potatoes. This is the reason why I haven't been doing it, I guess you could say. Is that I don't need to channel messages or do tarot readings necessarily, but I do want to teach about tarot, occult philosophy, or systems, symbolism, and particularly alchemical processes that, and just an alchemical way of thinking, a hermetic way of thinking, and applying philosophy to your life. My thing is applied philosophy, applied spiritual systems. Whatever spiritual system that I decide to learn, I'm going to learn it, and as I'm learning it, I'm applying it to my life. Whether it's a philosophy, a new insight in psychology, a new insight in freaking occult symbolism, or archetypal imagery, or maybe Kabbalah, or whatever, any of these different systems. Even if I learn something about Christianity from having a conversation with a Christian. Anything. I'm about applied philosophy, not just telling people what they want to hear. And this is what most people are doing, unfortunately. And this is why this is a problem. These are the problems. I mean, these are all great things, don't get me wrong. These are all great things, but what is the weight, the balance?
The algorithm rewards emotional dependency. You notice this repeatedly. Videos often say, open quote, they're thinking about you, close quote. Open quote, don't skip, close quote. Open quote, this was meant for you, close quote. Open quote, they're coming back, close quote. These phrases increase watch time because they create anticipation. The more uncertain the audience becomes, the more content they consume. The incentives can reward keeping people emotionally hooked rather than helping them become independent. 2. Confirmation bias becomes the product. People remember, this reading was accurate. They forget, the previous 20 weren't. That makes it feel increasingly supernatural. 3. It can encourage outsourcing decisions. Instead of asking, what do I actually want? People begin asking, what does today's reading say? That can weaken someone's trust in their own judgment. You told me before that your own relationship with God, or spirituality more broadly, should be personal, not outsourced to YouTube creators or tarot readers. That concern became a major turning point in how you viewed this space. 4. Success can create pressure to exaggerate. Imagine 2 videos. Video A, I pulled the hermit today. 50,000 views. Video B, your soulmate will contact you within 48 hours. 900,000 views. Guess which one the algorithm tends to reward? Creators don't necessarily begin dishonest, but incentives shape behavior. Nana 5, parasocial relationships. This was probably your biggest criticism. Viewers begin feeling they know me. They're talking directly to me. They understand my destiny. The creator may never intend that, but the relationship can become one-sided and emotionally powerful. Nuf 6, financial incentives slowly shift motives. A creator might begin wanting to help. Then comes rent, bills, analytics, sponsors, monthly revenue, watch time, CTR, retention. Eventually the question subtly changes from what message is true to what title gets 500,000 views. Not because the creator is evil, because incentives influence behavior. There's another layer that I think is the most important. The danger isn't tarot, it's certainty. Whenever someone confidently claims, I know exactly what's happening in your life, I know your future, I know what the universe wants. That deserves skepticism. Symbolic exploration is one thing. Claiming certainty about another person's unseen life is something else. If I compare 2 kinds of creators, Creator A says they are offering reflection and symbolism, encourages viewers to think for themselves, admits uncertainty, wants viewers to become more self-reliant over time. Creator B implies every message is personally meant for the viewer, creates urgency, don't scroll, keeps promising the next breakthrough, benefits when viewers keep coming back for answers. The first approach is much easier to defend ethically than the second. Given everything we've talked about over the last few months, I think this distinction is very close to where you ultimately landed. You weren't rejecting spirituality itself. You were questioning what happens when spiritual content is optimized for engagement and ad revenue. You also told me you value authenticity and don't want to sell your soul or manipulate people online, even if that would perform better.
All right, so I mean that says it right there. I mean, there are some good things, but we can't do it like this if we're being controlled by an algorithm and the incentive to make money. It turns into this right here, okay? What title gets 500,000 views? I mean, come on, guys. And we're eating this up like candy. I'm on the receiving end, getting emotionally addicted to this, you know? Not because I actually believe it, but this emotional dependency is a terrible thing. And you know, I'm trying to solve the issue when it comes to tarot by doing my own challenge and implementing these symbols in my life and learning more about them and teaching as I learn and learn as I teach and integrate while I'm learning. It's about integrating the lessons as soon as you learn them, you know? So I can't sit here and be emotionally dependent and having my energy just siphoned from my body through this need for attention is what it is. It's the need for attention, because it's not about simply just an insecurity anymore. Now it's about how much money I can make, and also how many viewers and all this other stuff, you know, like, but also some people aren't even aware that this is happening. It's just what happens because of subconscious reward systems, or I mean, you know, the brain runs off of punishment and reward. You get rewarded with dopamine when you do something good. You get punished when you don't. You feel pain. You have pain receptors. You have dopamine receptors. I mean, and then when we're getting emotionally triggered every day, it's going to make people respond in that way. It's just a fucking loop, okay? So I'm just talking, and I'm trying to give you something to look at, but look, this is I mean, I can't say it as well as that. I mean, I can't articulate this shit so well. That's why I come to ChatGPT, is to say, hey, be my external processor, be my extension of my brain, and think about this for me and articulate it back to me, reflect it back to me in this way so that I can understand it. And I've been doing this for months and months to try to understand myself, because it's very hard to speak about this when there's so much complexity, and you listen to the way that I'm speaking. You know? Like, I can't even get it out fast enough. And so I have to talk about this stuff for like 20 minutes, and then I get it to unpack it over a couple hours, and just so I can understand all of these different, like, each one of these points is I mean, and this doesn't even mention the cons of being in a feedback loop of getting the validation, the emotional hit, then the reward system of the creator making videos that actually get them more validation. But then the reason why it's getting them more validation is because they're emotionally dependent. The viewers are emotionally dependent. And they're not even realize they're being manipulated, because they're being manipulated by things that aren't even human at this point. You know? This is technology taking over the human brain. I mean, this is technology taking over you. We should have sovereignty over our technology. Instead, our technology is ruling us. I mean, come on, guys. I hate to be this such a fucking cliche right now, but wake up. You know? I hate to say that because it's so played out and a buzzword and a trend to be awake. But like, How many people are unconsciously sleeping through this right now? And they're just completely unaware that they're being misled and misguided on both sides of the fence, creator and viewer. All right? So, if this doesn't make sense and you stayed till the end, if this makes sense, please let me know you got what I was saying and that I'm not fucking crazy. Because this is pretty important for society right now. Okay? And I don't know what to do about it, but I'm working on it. So just let me know, leave a comment, and at least tell me your honest thoughts. Like, I want to hear some thoughts. Let's have a conversation here, you know? I want you to just, as much thoughts as you possibly could think of what this relates to. What is your opinion? We need an open discussion about this because I'm not right about everything. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. And I would like somebody to meet me at the level that I am trying to be at, which is above all of this, okay? Which is not to say I'm hiding high and mighty. It just means let's expand our consciousness. Come on, join the group, guys. If there's anybody that's listening to this right now. So, if you're here, please let me know. I would love to hear from you. Okay? All right, have fun. See you later.